Hey, welcome back to Sting Flight and the beautiful and once again green Central Valley of California. If you've learned how to cut and paste your video footage and maybe manipulate the sound, it might be time to start thinking about enhancing the video quality itself. This video will show you how to get started.
I use Power Director for my editing, but there are several programs costing under $100 which have very similar features and capabilities. Here's a typical example. I've imported 3 clips which I earlier cut to length, which will make up the finished video. I drag these clips onto the timeline where I can then apply appropriate enhancements. Enhancements are applied to clips because there's more homogeneity within than among clips. My 3 favorite one-click enhancements using Power Director are lighting adjustment, video enhancement, and within color adjustment feature, a tweak upwards in vibrancy. Most of the time, just one enhancement is applied per clip, depending on what the clip needs. Once all the enhancements are specified, the Produce button up at the top of the page is clicked, a file type is selected, and rendering of the final enhanced video begins. This clip is challenging because we have sun in front of the camera plus high contrast and lighting above and below. But let's see what the software can do. As you can see, enhancements B, C, and D all improve video quality over the original, but my preference would be for D. Now, let's compare them again. Here's the original, and now here's D with both lighting and vibrancy enhanced. Now here we're starting off with the right stuff already, which is sun behind the camera. And that untouched video is pretty darned awesome. Can it be enhanced? Let's find out. To my eye, each of the 3 enhancements, B, C, and D, definitely elevate this video up a notch. Now it's more or less a matter of personal preference. Which look do you really want? So in that vein, let's take another look. First, the original untouched video, which as I said is pretty darn good. Now here's the lighting adjusted version. I'd probably use this if I wanted the most natural representation of those wetlands. And here's the vibrancy enhanced version, which I'd probably use if I wanted that CSI Miami maximum eye candy look. Now here's a low flight clip that's already been enhanced with a lighting adjustment and increase in vibrancy. On low flights such as this, where the ground is moving by very quickly, care must be taken to prevent overdoing the corrections, which will introduce blurriness at ground level and in the sky. This clip is now pretty much maxed out. Now here's the original clip. It's actually pretty darn good since it was created with the preferred sun behind the camera lighting. But it sure doesn't match up to the rich, vibrant coloring and contrast of the enhanced version. Okay, let's do a side-by-side comparison now of the original against 3 different one-click enhancements. You pick your favorite, we'll compare it against mine. The CSI Miami type of enhancement I showed at the very beginning has not been included. Well, my first choice would be D Delta, the one-click lighting adjustment. It's almost as good as the CSI Miami all tricked out version, but without the surreal quality. My second choice would be C Charlie, the one-click vibrancy increase by 50%. I like that it's brighter and not quite as dark, especially over the water. And just for reference, here once again is that original footage, straight out of the camera.
Okay, how are we? Stable?
Yeah, right behind you. Pretty close to you here.
I show you 4/10. Looks good.
Yep, looks good. Watching.
Okay, I'm going to record another take of what I got to record, so I'll be gone 30 seconds here.
Roger.
Okay, all the clips you've been seeing so far were all recorded in standard GoPro HD without using Pro Tune. Now, when I'm in standard HD mode like that, I like to keep things simple and just record in 1080p, 30 frames per second, and either use a wide or a medium view, field of view. Then in post-production, I can usually do a 1 to 3 simple one-click enhancements to the video and end up with a very good product.
Nevertheless, if a particular scene has special needs or you just want to begin to elevate your videos to the next level, it may be time to start using the Pro Tune feature of your GoPro camera. In Pro Tune mode, the camera uses a higher bit rate, has less compression, sends more data to the SD card, and all this allows you to create more dynamism in the final video. On the downside, however, Pro Tune fills up a memory card a whole lot faster, requires more post-production effort, and usually more than just a simple one-click enhancement. Anyway, let's take a closer look in detail at a few clips where the Pro Tune setting was used. The first thing you notice about raw Pro Tune footage is that it is very bland and plain. It really doesn't pop out at you at all. But it doesn't take much in the way of enhancement, in this case, some sharpness, contrast, saturation, and vibrancy to really make it come alive. Here's another shot taking off from my home airport. Raw Pro Tune footage again. Very plain, very bland, kind of blah. But it doesn't take much to enhance it with some sharpness, contrast, saturation, and vibrancy once again. And you can really see it come alive. And the result is pretty remarkable and quite stunning, actually. And sometimes you may be dealing with your panel where you want exceptional clarity of the gauges, for example. Here's some raw Pro Tune footage of my panel. Nothing to write home about, but when you light it up with some sharpness, contrast, saturation, and vibrancy, wow! Look at the detail and sharpness. And that sky outside. Here's another panel shot. Landing, again, the raw Pro Tune footage. Nothing to write home about. Not bad, but as soon as it's enhanced, in this case, rather simply with just a tweak upwards in sharpness and vibrancy, wow, look what it does. And here's landing at my home airport. Again, the raw Pro Tune footage. If you didn't know better, you'd think, oh, this is not too bad. But it's pretty bland compared to the enhanced version. Again, with sharpness, contrast, saturation, and vibrancy upped. Pretty stunning, actually. And what I like to do when I'm recording in Pro Tune RAW mode, I like to capture the video in 1080p, 60 frames per second with a medium view. As I said earlier, this helps deal with some of the camera vibration issues. And then you can do rendering at 30 frames per second.
Well, it's a little choppy up here today, January 14, 2015. But it's also about time to bring this video to a close. So while I'm cruising along here having more fun than most reasonable men should be allowed to have, You can watch a brief summary of the key points I think I've covered in this video. Also, remember to go to Sting Flight and check out my other videos and subscribe. It's free. So until next time, safe flying, blue skies, and tailwinds.